The time has finally come to introduce Effie to the episode oft-fingered as the worst episode of Star Trek in existence. Is it though? We'll talk about it as we review the as-aired Season 3 premiere, Star Trek 306, Spock's Brain, after these words from iMorgs who bring pain and delight.
You put fingering in there on purpose, didn't you?
I did. Welcome into Star Trek Universe. This is the classic watch/rewatch where I, David C. Robertson, an old hand at Star Trek who has seen every episode multiple times, introduces the young foot, Effie Ophelders, to Star Trek for the first time.
And I'm Effie Ophelders, afoot, apparently. I don't know this expression. I'm weird.
If I'm an old hand, then you're a young foot.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
I made that shit up.
I didn't get that far. Yeah, no, now I get it. I just, if I had read it, I'd be like, haha. But yeah, I didn't get that far in audio, apparently, even though I heard it twice, because you know, I do want the messed up intro at the end credits, but that's a request for later, because it was funny. But yeah, no, okay, I am a foot. That is, now it's clear to me. I've always been a foot.
You have.
There's very little brain. There's just appendages.
Yeah. I'm going to try to not make the joke about how you were born a hand. I kind of just did, though.
I was born an old hand. It happens to the best of us, really.
Yeah. All right. The Memory Alpha summary. An alien woman invades the Enterprise and steals Spock's brain. Kirk, McCoy, and a landing party beam down to a planet in a desperate race to retrieve it. Yes, this did air as the season premiere of Season 3. So, while
everyone was so happy to see they came back.
Yeah, you have to remember that fans at that point, there was a letter writing campaign. They thought it was going to be canceled.
We want more. We want more. Not this shit, though. This shit. Though.
And then, yay, we find out we got it. Yeah. It's happening. Mm-hmm. We're going to get a third season. And then they wait all summer, and then the fucking show comes back, and it's this.
Yep. And was that a fair indicator for the rest of the season, Dave?
Yeah, I think mostly yes. It was. I don't think it was the worst.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
I don't think it was the worst of the season.
No.
I
can't say that fully yet, but
I suspect possibly the best of the season may have been the Enterprise incident.
Ah, fuck, we're past it. You should have told me beforehand, and I would have appreciated more while I had it. Oh.
Go watch it again.
That's fair. That's allowed.
But maybe I'm wrong. I don't watch Season 3 very much, so
we might be forgetting some stuff. Sure.
Right. It is basically the same. I have the same.
Well, you might be forgetting some stuff. I don't know shit.
I might. Yeah, I don't have, I've watched it a bunch of times, but I don't remember stuff. I'll watch the episode and go
me
oh,
neither.
Yeah.
Do you know how often I ask, what's that episode from Season 1 about again? And
yeah. Well, you've watched
some
it
of them
once.
I remember because they come up. Yeah, that's fair. I have an excuse. I have a built-in excuse.
But here's mine. I've watched 900 of these fuckers multiple times. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, maybe one day I'll be good enough of a fan to remember the title of On the Edge of Tomorrow?
The City on the Edge of Forever.
God damn it, the city. I always forget the city. See, that's my aspiration. I want to be on the level of fan to remember that one title. Mm-hmm. And then I'm done. Then I'm content, and I'll just watch for pleasure.
And you
then I've proven my Trekkie status. That's what my brain is capable of.
You changed
my
out. My
controller cannot do more.
You changed out Forever for Tomorrow. It was The City on the Edge of Forever.
God damn it! Yes. What's the Tomorrow shit then? That's the other.
There was Return to Tomorrow.
Recent. Yeah.
That was the.
Damn it. Because I really thought I should replace Forever with Tomorrow, because I wanted to say Forever, but I was like, no, it's not something infinite. But it is.
No,
okay.
Anyway,
see,
whatever.
I have a long ways to go.
It's okay.
I did watch this episode, Spock's Brain, with my girlfriend. Both of the last 2 episodes I did, actually. I forced her during dinner to watch these 2 episodes over the course of 2 days. And I did have to mention that, according to her, the last one was worse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And okay. I can agree. There is...
you think Spock's Brain was worse than The Children Shall Lead?
No, the other way around. I can agree with that sentiment that The Children Shall Lead is
worse.
Well, it's sure as shit isn't better. I mean, I feel very torn because both episodes sort of have that setup where in the beginning I'm in and I'm like, this could go somewhere, but that's because my brain is doing the work of actually writing a good ending. And then I have to watch the ending and I'm like, you did none of that good shit.
Yeah.
So I do really appreciate the creepiness, the eeriness from the kids and the chanting and the stuff from early in And the Children Shall Lead. But that goes for this one as well, sort of, where it's like the setup is fine. It's not a problem. No. It's not where I have my issues, but because this setup is not as outwardly, it's creepy, it's interesting, it's weird, it feels worse in that regard because there's less redeeming quality.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem too, where it's like if you compare it to anything, well, there's really not much to be like, oh, they did that thing really well and then fumbled it. They just didn't do much of anything really well and fumbled most of it. And that's tough, but it's because they try to do so much. They're setting up an entire civilization and historical shit that happened, and we just sort of have to rush towards the ending. Just don't even bother. Which apparently this happened on Old Earth too. You know, a schism between the sexes. Interesting. Sure, we're never getting back to that. But then there's so much in the middle where it's like, yeah, I get it. You have to gamble and pick a planet, but we all know it's going to be the one that's least likely. So pick that one. Can we get through this scene? Yeah. And that takes up so much time disproportionately to the shit you actually want to get through to, namely the fucking planet, instead of we're following the ion trail. I know. That's how you got here. You could have skipped forward just a bit more time efficiently, just a bit faster. And that's the sort of shit where I'm like, you're making this episode more boring than it needs to be. Like, it's nonsense to begin with, but I can't even appreciate the sci-fi bullshit because we're not doing enough of the sci-fi bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're just saying a bunch of numbers and letters to be like, this is a Class G civilization, where I'm like, okay. Yeah. Sure. That's roughly when? 1800s? Sure. Oh, that was 1485. That's a very exact measure of societal development, I guess. Yeah. If you become class N instead of M, you're suddenly in the
Yeah, I was like...
1494, I guess. I
was like, okay, so they're like, I guess, morgues. I'm like, the morgues are like cavemen, but they all have like bad, Sir Lancelot wigs from like medieval times.
Oh, it was very funny to me as soon as you saw the caveman. A bunch of them just have the dark brown bob wig that is clearly intended for a woman in the 60s. Uh-huh. It's amazing. It's great. Like, at least the blonde guy had like a bunch of stray hairs and like they sort of teased that wig. Yeah. They did not tease the brown wigs. They were just like, maybe we'll use this one for a woman at some point. So guess you're rocking the bangs and the bob today, honey. Yeah. And and that's just delightfully silly. I mean, they had some decently advanced clothing techniques for, a bunch of cavemen who don't seem very developed in any other respects, but, can't just walk around in those bear skins or whatever the fuck they have there. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's an episode, man. Where do we even start?
Well, I it's funny because, like, to start out an episode with a beautiful woman in a skimpy dress shows up and steals a normally very intelligent man's brain. That feels like it's trying to say something. But then,
I mean, I feel like this is an outwardly sexist episode regardless.
Yeah, sure.
It's trying to say they're all fucking dumb blondes regardless of hair color.
Yeah. It's weird, because okay. So in a way, yes, absolutely. But then in another way, in a way that I like, it's like trying to say something about human beings becoming basically child-minded incompetence because they're relying too heavily on technology.
Yeah, it is once again you're being taken care of, and you need to struggle to evolve.
Now I like
in a sense, but I liked it more when it was trying to sort of, when it was still uncertain about that aspect, and there was something about, there's the people on the surface, and there's the people who actually bothered to advance technologically. But then, oh no, wait, both tribes are pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Except one of them has been taken care of by some older race that went extinct or something.
Yeah.
And that, because I mean, it wouldn't have been good if the women were all way smarter, but it would have been less misogynist in some ways and worse in others. I don't know, man. It's, oh God.
Well, some backup, some like fill in would have been nice, where you're like, so we had this ancient species, they built all this cool shit, and then everything became automated, and everyone just became, over the generations, more and more dumb and simple-minded. To the point where, like,
that's
the men...
an interesting point.
But, like, the men, of course, decided they didn't want to, live within the confines of that society anymore, and they found
God knows why. Yeah.
They went to the fucking surface to live and became cavemen, where the women just became, stayed kept and got dumber, and the men.
But it's also really weird, because that would also require at some point the men being like, I guess I don't want to bone anymore.
Yeah,
because that was that moment where they're like, don't you have a mate? A companion? Where I'm like, they might just another dude. It's an option. Like, I know we're in the 60s, but you're forgetting some shit. I know you can do this on TV, but Lord knows they were butt fucking, or just sucking each other off. I don't judge. It's whatever you're into or not into.
Well, yeah,
I'm not trying to, my gay men, you're whatever. It's I don't want to see you as a homogenous group or anything.
Right. So I don't know what they were doing. They didn't really explain it very well, what exactly was happening on this planet. I think it's funny.
They really, that makes the end scene so weird, because they really try to hand wave it like, oh, nobody's interested in Spock's explanation. You don't care about the backstory. We didn't bother to write it.
Yeah. They were just like, I think you'll find
only to Spock.
You don't need this brain. I think you'll find you and the men up above, the Morgs and the Morgs, come together, find a way together. Okay, all right,
together. On top of it. Yeah, we get it, Kirk. We get it. Also, how does just generally procreation? They at no point where they say mate, companion, partner. They at no point are they like, how do you make new men, Morgs, whatever? Like, where do they come from? We have to just sort of assume that they're zapped by the women, raped, and then they bring the guys upstairs and they keep the girls downstairs or something. Like, how does this society function, man? You didn't think this through.
Yeah. I think that is.
It's awful and sick as soon as you do.
I don't know about rape. I suspect what's happening.
They do bring delights, I guess.
Yeah, like I suspect what happens is in this culture.
Fuck me or I'll hurt you is still kind of close to rape, but
the mind culture people, or the brain, whatever, the controller.
The collector demands we breed.
Right. Like, you come over here and you put on the fucking helmet. And then you get the brain again, and then you go up and you're like, what up, yo? And they're like, yay or no. And they're like, oh, well, that's not cool. But if you,
then you're just going to try every guy, I guess.
I don't know that I immediately jumped to, they go up and they go, I will bring you pain if you don't let me fuck you. I thought
but also, if they are going up with the brain to bang, at that point, is the brain, with all its knowledge, intent on making you select the best genes or the dumbest genes?
I don't know.
But
maybe the bringer of pain portion?
There is some selective eugenics bullshit at that point possibly going on if you have that broad-ass fucking view of this society.
Right, but maybe.
So I'd hope they would just not use the teacher and just go bang, because the collector asked them to.
Well, I don't think I think the reason that, in my mind, the reason that they said they bring pain and delights or whatever is like, you know, Hottie Boombalati goes up there with her brain powers and she's got to choose which one. And then maybe some of the others are like, nah, girl, you gonna do me. And she's got to bring the pain. Like,
oh, sure.
So that's more
she
in line.
Has agency. Fair enough.
Right.
That's a safer solution, assuming the cavemen are, you know, not generationally scared of all of them because they run away as soon as they see them. They bring pain and delight. Will she choose me? That's the only, like, I don't know if they would be following their dick enough to be like, but I want a bone. And she has to hurt them because of that. I'm not sure they're rapey. I feel like they're scared. Yeah.
I mean, but maybe they were at one point, you know?
That is possible. And the controller was like, well, you need something to knock them out. Here's a cute bracelet.
Got these big ass dudes, you know, with Lancelot hair. You know, I don't know.
It is. Yeah, it's a bad haircut.
Green Arrow goatees over here.
I wish. They're just full on beards mostly.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I do think I think it's only lightly sexist. Like they said the women couldn't have created the genius level tech, but the men up top don't seem any brighter.
They're really like, but the way they treat even the high priestess and just keep throwing her aside and just the zero respect and the immediate like, oh, she threatens me with a gun. Now I have to just take the gun, I guess, because he coughed and that's distracting her. Like there's very little weight to any of the female characters in that sense.
Oh yeah, they were all pretty thin.
There's like, there's this advanced society, but still we don't respect them because they couldn't have done it themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess they didn't in the end, but also I feel like they concluded that real quick.
Yeah. I feel like you didn't hear my joke, which was pretty good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said the female characters were all very thin, and I was like, yeah, they were all pretty. I can't remember.
Slender. I don't know what you said either. That's why we record these conversations so we can, skip back and the listeners can hear the original version of the joke and appreciate it more than I could ever.
I made it like you were talking about weight and not.
Of course. Yeah, no, I figured. Yeah, no.
I think you said there was no weight to the female characters. I said, yeah, they were all fat. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Now I get it. Yeah. That's good.
Fuck.
I appreciate that. God damn it, I should have been listening. I'm just talking over you. It's we're both ADHD. We keep rambling. Yeah. It's kind of why we podcast.
Yeah. I think my favorite line of this whole thing, aside from brain and brain, what is brain? is McCoy going, Jim, where you gotta look? In this whole galaxy, where you gotta look for Spock's brain? How you gotta find it? Like
that entire fucking scene, man. How do we get from, well, I don't know, his Vulcan physiology is beyond me. I have no fucking clue how long he could survive without a brain, to it's 24 hours, bitch, then he's dead.
I don't know why it's 24 hours, but
okay. No one does, because he's just, like, he suddenly decides, well, you have to find him within 24 hours. And I'm like, 2 seconds ago, you said you don't know how long you could keep him on life support. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It is, it was confusing. I was like, yeah, you need the random timer, I guess. Like, yeah, you need the ticking clock for narrative effect, but also then cut out the bullshit where you don't understand him well enough. You've been able to study him. He's been aboard for a while. You just go, well, what I know about Vulcan physiology is, but he's half human, so he will, slowly degrade or whatever the fuck. Just come up with something.
Mm-hmm. I like this line from McCoy after they rapidly descend in the elevator. Mm-hmm. Call Chekhov and tell him to send my stomach down. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a good line. I'd almost forget it because there's so much around it.
The man, the fucking. I felt like this was almost a Futurama episode, and I know the joke
in a way
is probably coming from this kind of stuff, but it's like, who are the others? Givers of pain and delight. Do they live here with you? No, they come. They give pain and delight.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you don't have much in the way of thoughts, do you there, buddy?
No, they don't. And
Jesus, God.
Also, at that point, it's very obvious they have no word for women. Maybe the others are like the women. I mean, it would have been weird if they, like, if only they had accidentally included a female officer in the landing party. But, that would have been confusing for them, I think.
Yeah. I do love that they, like, the women are smarter. They're at least some smarter.
To an extent, yeah. But that's just, osmosis, I guess, from living in...
Because the men are
not a cave.
The men are like, the others, they bring pain and delight. And that's all the only thing we know. And the women are like, those fuckers are just the morgue. Don't worry about them.
Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised that they kidnapped a bunch for security to just keep downstairs as pets. That was interesting, I guess. Like, we need some muscle, apparently. I don't know what for. These intruders, end of list.
There's like, we are tired of fucking these dudes whenever we need to repopulate. Like, these dudes up there, these guys are like... See, that could have been an interesting thing, too. Like,
yeah. They
take certain, male crew members to be like...
The ones they like to, like, I want you as a pet / fuck buddy. Like, that could work. Because they are... But they're also trapping... Like, trying to lure them with arms, and I don't know why you would keep the axes with the fruit, though.
Yeah.
That seems like a bad idea, because they'll come down, you'll have to stun them, but you gave them an axe. Why bother risking that they axe you? I don't know. Yeah.
There are better ways to stun a morgue. Tell me something good. Anyway.
Oh, Lordy.
I actually did like when McCoy goes under the great teacher helmet.
Yes.
And like, he plays it really
and just
well.
The whole dynamic of having him sacrifice himself for Spock, potentially risking his mental faculties. That's interesting. But also that entire sequence feels so rushed because they go from one option to the other, from trying to convince the high priestess to do it herself to we can just try it on ourselves, fuck it. And there's just one too many captain's logs in between, trying to keep the fade in fade out cohesive or something, where I'm like, you could have just done a scene where you explain, where you tell him that you should attach Spock's vocal cords first instead of having that in voiceover. Like, you could have just acted that, and it might have taken up less time.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's some odd choices there in terms of pacing where I just felt like, okay, you could have wasted a lot less time on the Ion Trail and actually wrote a scene here.
Yeah. But I still really liked as soon as DeForest Kelley, as soon as McCoy like sort of comes to. The way he played the realization a child could do it, like, just like,
brilliant.
Like, everything fun. Connects.
It makes sense. Yeah, of course. That's how it's mapped out. Yeah, it's fun. And then also the flip side of what am I doing? There's so many neurons. Like, this is insanity. Yeah. How did I think this was a good idea? Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that even the worst episodes, these actors really did in a lot of ways make the best out of it.
They sold it. Yeah. They try their best even with a shit script. They're still like, okay, I know the character better than whoever the writer of the week is, clearly, but I guess I'll make the best of it. Yeah. That you can tell in many instances. And there's also, during the fight scene, it's very fun to just see Spock sitting there and God damn it, Nimoy just sitting there and having to like play it straight while they're just jumping around.
Yeah.
That must have been a fun day of shooting for him.
It may have been.
Just don't move your face while they do silly stuff and jump over this table and
Yeah.
Kirk only can beat one of these, but you need two people for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kirk's that manly. It's fun. It's
all right. Let's
he must have been smiling underneath the Spock.
Over to some trivia. This was the third season's premiere, and it was written by Lee Cronin, which was the pseudonym for the former writer and producer Gene L. Coon.
Whenever he's not happy with it.
Now, yes, but actually at this point he was going by Lee Cronin because he was actively working on a different series on a different network.
Right, so he wasn't allowed to. Yeah, that was.
And he had promised a certain amount of scripts. I don't know if he intended this to be satire. I don't know if maybe he was just fucking tired and he was just trying to honor his commitments and get this through, but
you never know. Sometimes you have to hit a deadline, I guess. Someone else revised it, and then no one revised it well enough.
However, that's funny you say that, because based on his April 1968 story outline, this episode underwent significant revisions before the final draft. Among the early concepts, Spock's brain was taken while he, Kirk, and McCoy were exploring the surface of an asteroid. The antagonists were from the planet Nephel and were known as the Nephiles. Their leader is a male named Ervon. Also, there is no mention of the teacher. When Kirk contacts Spock's brain, he instructs the brain to go into the Slonpora, the Vulcan state of complete mental control. McCoy received...
Have we heard that before?
I don't think so,
a new thing? No, okay, good.
McCoy received no transfusion of any special surgical knowledge except for a study of the planet's advanced surgical techniques. Only when combined with his existing surgical knowledge is he then able to perform the surgery.
Right, because it has to be him. Oh.
Yeah. After McCoy completes the brain implant surgery, Spock experiences several side effects from McCoy having reversed the connections of several nerve endings, causing Spock to, among other things, laugh when he wants to sneeze. He is, however, able to restore the errors with his own mental disciplines.
That's interesting. Like, him being able to rewire his brain is an interesting addition to Vulcan physiology, I guess. But also, there's that sounds like just none of the man-woman bullshit. So I'm guessing the revisions didn't really improve it much.
Well, it sounds like it was at least more interesting.
Yeah, it had some other things going on. It had less of the chase bullshit that took too long, so, because they're already there.
Yeah. Co-producer Robert H. Justman, who described the episode as being late lamented, contributed to this story by suggesting that Spock's brain direct Dr. McCoy in the operative procedures of replacing it into Spock's body. In the 2008 autobiography Up Till Now, William Shatner joked that the plot of this episode is a tribute to NBC executives who had slashed the show's budget and placed the show in an undesirable time slot. They lost their brain.
That's funny. That's a good joke. It's a good joke. It works both on the level of, well, this is the quality of storytelling you get when you slash everything, and also, well, you weren't thinking, were you? Let's do an episode about brainless fucking people.
Writer David Gerald said, I suspect that Spock's brain was Gene L. Coon's way of thumbing his nose at Roddenberry or something. If not Roddenberry, he was thumbing his nose at how seriously the show was taking itself. Gene L. Coon had that kind of sense of humor to do that kind of impish stuff. He had an irreverent sense of humor, and I think he wanted to poke Star Trek because someone was taking it too seriously. Maybe it was his way of not buying into it. I don't know.
That's very speculative, but also, if that was your take, yeah, man, I'd rather you take it a little more seriously. Just maybe tell a good story instead of going it's sci-fi, it's bullshit for the kids, sort of route. Because,
there was something I feel like they were proud of because they made it the first episode of the season.
Yeah, and I feel like there is something in there because the whole idea, like even that contribution of Spock's brain talking, because he's been in the machine talking McCoy through the surgery, that makes sense. Just don't make it fucking childlike. Like, oh, that's that neuron. I can move my hand now. Like, just throw in some more sciencey words.
Yeah. My fear is that they looked at it and said, "Well, this one's got the most tits in space."
I guess. I suppose it might have been a money thing too, because there's the most set building in the female society and the most costuming, and like we got these really long leather boots in different neon colors that were shiny, so we got to make the most of that budget and show it to people. It could have been something like that, but it's just pacing wise, man. God damn it.
This was the last episode to be directed by regular Trek director Mark Daniels. Daniels was unhappy with the budget cuts, and the series suffered for the third season and the direction it was taking overall, and declined to come back to helm more episodes. However,
that sounds wise.
Daniels later wrote the episode "One of Our Planets is Missing" for Star Trek the Animated Series, and directed the pilot "Planet Earth" for Gene Roddenberry.
I don't know that last thing, but I guess we'll get to the animated episode.
Yeah. Planet Earth is just a completely different franchise that
I
Roddenberry
figured.
created.
Yeah. I take it didn't quite catch on in the same way.
Nah. The score for this episode, by Fred Steiner and recorded on August 26th, 1968, was later reused in later episodes during the playback of Kirk's final message in the Tholian Web and Kirk's return in the transporter room in the same episode. For example, the battle music from this episode later scored Kirk and Kang's sword fight in Day of the Dove. This is the first and only episode, besides the first pilot, where characters walk in front of the main view screen showing a moving starfield. This was achieved by using rear projection instead of the usual post-production matte used in view screen shots. A gag scene was filmed during the production of this episode showing Leonard Nimoy in handcuffs with a prop gun pointed at him, holding a newspaper with the headline, "Spock gets 2-year prison term." Psychologist Benjamin Spock was sentenced to prison after encouraging draft evaders and claiming the Vietnam War to be anti-constitutional on July 11th, 1968, during the filming of this episode.
So he was right, so he had to be locked up. That's what I take it as. That seems like things, that's how it goes.
Yeah, sure. During one of the takes, where Kara reaches for Spock's head, Leonard Nimoy reaches up and grabs Kara's wrist, ostensibly to prevent her from stealing his brain. So that's kind of interesting. I wish I knew.
Takes, right. Okay. Oh.
I just wish I knew more. I wish I knew more about how this episode happened.
Do they mean the brain as in? Oh no, wait. Do they mean the one at the beginning? Or the
there's just a lost take of him reaching up and grabbing her wrist.
Yeah. No, but I wasn't sure because there is the scene, of course, at the end where his body grabs her wrist, and she might have been headed for the device on his head in that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Could have been either. So yeah, no, but I the first one makes more sense. That is interesting that he would have some sort of
reaction.
I can sense it still. I can still resist because, half Vulcan, god damn it. Special powers. Yeah, could have been cool. Wasn't necessary though. When she did touch his head at first, I was very much like, are you going to mind meld? Is this a thing? Are you going to, because you need the Vulcan apparently, but.
All right. We got some feedback. Sterling Gray writes in.
Oh, I've heard that name.
Hey folks.
Hey Sterling.
This episode was not nearly as bad as I heard it was. This was just as silly as any of the comedy episodes. I think it's a little more silly, but I don't think I agree that it's not as bad as you heard.
It's just not worse in any, it's not extremely, it's not an outlier. It's just one of the really bad ones. But it feels like within the category of bad that we've seen before and not so far out there that you're like, oh, this how could they do this to my Star Trek? This just feels like, this is one of the not so well written, not so well executed ones. It's silly, sure, but it's trying to take itself more seriously than some of the comedy episodes, I guess, because it doesn't hit comedy until the last few lines.
I will watch Spock's brain with a straight face before I go back to the Omega Glory.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Jesus.
Before I watch And the Children Shall Lead.
I banned that from my fucking brain. The Omega Glory is so much worse than both, actually.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah.
All right. So,
thank you for reminding me that existed. It's very recent, and yet I have had a fever in between. I've been sick for a week, half a week ago, so I forgot everything apparently, but Yeah, no, that was worse. That was so much worse.
Sterling says, the most annoying part is that they said the phrase Spock's brain about 9,000 times, which I did laugh at. I do enjoy that part of it.
It is kind of funny, but at the same time, that would have been fine had they not named the episode that.
Yeah. Sterling says, this is completely on me. I thought this was the episode where Spock wore that white helmet with the siren on top. Now, thanks to a 2-second Google search, I know that was just a cheap toy that was never worn in the show. Oh. But after watching this episode, could it really be a stretch to see the Spock zombie wearing this helmet? No.
I have never seen the other one, so I don't know.
Oh, it's just a toy for kids. It was just a helmet.
Oh, it's just something they put out. Sure.
Yeah, it was a toy. It was a white helmet, and it said Spock on the front, and it had like a red siren on, like a light on top.
Oh, great! Oh, that's funny. That wouldn't have worked, but that's worse. Yeah, would have been funny though.
Yeah,
just in a bad way. Oh.
I will also say Shatner and DeForest Kelly's acting is kind of terrible in this episode. I thought DeForest Kelly's was good.
The first Kelly was fine, largely. Not in the beginning, though. That scene where I was like, you're not making a goddamn lick of sense. Like, emotionally, it's fine. Yeah. But just, there's no saving that conversation. Where it's like, I don't know what, 24 hours. It's that part where Spock is on the table, his character just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And that's not necessarily his fault, but he gets much better later on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be interested to hear about the production issues and abject hatred the cast had toward each other and see if that affected the filming of this episode. Yeah, thank you for writing in, Sterling. If you would like to write in, any of you out there, be like Sterling, you can write in at StarTrekUcast@gmail.com. Now, as far as the abject hatred, I don't know if it was this episode or if it was just in general. But at some point, I did read a story where Fred Freeberger was having trouble with Shatner and Nimoy. And he wound up calling up Gene, and they all got together, and Freeberger says, I need to know who is the star of this show.
Oh my God. No, don't make them decide that. That's the entire problem.
And Roddenberry, no, he's asking Roddenberry.
Oh, well, don't do that with them present to hear the answer. I mean,
no, it was very important that they were there. Roddenberry, I guess, I think fucking lights a cigar and goes and looks out the window for a second, and then starts to walk out of the room slowly, and then then turns back and goes, "It's Shatner," and fucks off.
Dickhead. I mean, yes, he is the protagonist, clearly. But also, nobody wants too many episodes with Spock just sitting there silently.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you can't tell Shatner that, because he was clearly the kind of guy who would let that get to his head and be like, I'm the only star here, go fuck yourself. And you're like, God damn it, as a producer, you should know better than to tell him you're the star, baby. Like, he already has that attitude. He's fine. Yeah. He doesn't need the encouragement.
I think there was... I don't know. Gene had issues with Nimoy at the same time.
That helps.
There were, promises made and shit. We'll get into that deeper later.
Contractually, I mean.
Well, I think, Nimoy wanted a certain level of sophistication on the show, and he was more protective of it as an artistic, intellectual piece. And Shatner, on the other hand, was upset that he's the star of the show and too many people have too many lines that aren't him. He's like, I'm the captain. I should be making
talking.
That.
Yeah.
I'm the captain. I should say that. I should come to that on my own.
Yeah. Which in some cases is fair, because you don't need Chekhov to recommend fuck all to you.
Right.
Because you're not even using that scene to demonstrate, Kirk is lost without Spock as his main advisor. Because you're not even doing that well. You're just wasting time trying to have Kirk make the right call anyway, so let him make that call faster.
So yeah, there are spots where, obviously Kirk would know something more than some rando on the bridge, but
depends on what it is. But yeah, it happens, but it doesn't happen as often as I think Shatner thought it did.
Right. And sometimes you just need to be a little more fair to your ensemble.
yeah, you could also realize you're part of a team and just not be like, but I want that line. Like, God damn it, let the actors have something. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a monologue. You're not in Shakespeare. That was a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. So do you think this is, really that bad of an episode, or?
It's bad, but it's not horrific.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this is one of those bad where it's like, I can't get into it. There's just too much nonsense and it doesn't work the farther you get in. So it's by no means a decent one, but it is not actively, oh God, I hate this. What are you doing to me? Whereas you reminding me of the Omega Glory, and that had a visceral reaction where I was like, I don't want to watch that again. This I could forgive. Maybe it helped that I went into it knowing like everyone thinks this is the worst one, but it has some interesting ideas. Like at least they execute them poorly, but there's some tension in some spots, and there's just a whole bunch of weird fucking sexism that just the way they treat every single woman is weird. But beyond that, it's just one of the shitty ones. I don't know. Yeah. It's not. Like I said, it's not a huge blip on the radar of like, oh, this is so much deeper of a dark hole than any low points that came before. Like,
yeah,
it's just not well written. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's not.
Should have worked on it a bit longer. Nimoy was right. You should be a bit more protective of your fucking craft.
Yep. I agree. All right.
Let's shut that guy up for an entire episode. Have him do some voiceover after.
All right, next time on the Star Trek Universe Classic Watch / a Rewatch, we are introduced to the Medusans, and they must look pretty damn bad. If human beings look at them, they'll be driven mad. Join me, Effie, and Dr. Miranda Jones as we escort Medusan Ambassador Kolos back to his homeworld in Star Trek 307, Is There No Truth in Beauty? Until then, Jolon True, live long, prosper, and of course...
Eat a dick, people. Eat a dick.
It's a dirty dick, too.
Apparently. Ugh. They don't wash up on the
they
floor.
Don't.
On the first floor of the planet, there's no bathing. It's
on
just
the surface.
Cold.
Yeah.
It might be cold enough to be like, disinfecting in that sense. I don't have a sense for Fahrenheit. I don't know what Chekhov said, except, well, it's just, regular Russian temperatures. It's livable. That was pretty funny. That was fine. But at least the dick is, shrinkage, so there's not a lot to eat.
Right.
It's a small meal, it's a snack, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you just, it's like a truffle. You just gotta...
Yeah.
Get all the filth off of that.
Yeah, wipe it a bit and stick it in your mouth.
Yeah, just wipe the fermented cheese off that moored pork, you know what I mean?
Ugh, thank you for that one. That was about the same visceral reaction I had to Omega Glory. Yeah. Felt similar. Yeah, let's end it there.
Welcome into Star Trek Universe. This is the Classic Watch / Rewatch, where I, David C. Robertson, old hand at Star Trek, who has seen every episode multiple times, introduces the young foot, God, introduces...
What's my name? How long have we been doing this?
Hell. Oh, God. Now I just got to start over with that one. Welcome in. Yeah.
Of course you will.
Hell. Star Trek Universe is produced by Matthew Carroll and David C. Robertson. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out all of his podcasts at strandedpanda.com. And go look for his music by searching Matthew Carroll wherever you get music. He did the theme for this show. Find out more about Effie Ophelders and her writing at euphemia.ophelda.rs. And if you want more of me, David C. Robertson, you can find links to my other podcast, DC On Screen, my poetry, short stories, photography, artwork, and my free all-encompassing weekly / semi-weekly newsletter at davidcrobertson.com. All links are in the show notes. If you'd like to reach out and have your voice heard, email us StarTrekUcast@gmail.com.